Hey you, welcome to my channel, A Year and a Day. My name is Jenny and my March and April were all about healing and growth and belonging. At the beginning of March, me and my husband took a weekend trip to the Belgium Ardennes, where we spent the weekend in a little cabin and hiked through the woods on the most lovely, sunny but cold day. I wasn't feeling well at all and was recovering from the flu. But being out in nature again after the long months of winter was so wonderful and healing. I have really been trying to put my own mental and physical health first this year. That means listening to my mental and physical needs as much as possible and without feelings of guilt or failure, which remains a challenge, but I'm trying. March was also a month in which I was mentally preparing myself for a very important moment for me that has since taken place in April. Telling the whole story here in this video would be too much. To be completely honest with you, I am still processing it all. In April, in the month I turned 39 years old, I was finally diagnosed with ADHD. My whole life I struggled with so many things and worked so very hard to overcome them all, never connecting the dots. Until I accidentally stumbled upon a website last year and everything fell into place. It was like finding the missing puzzle piece that explained my whole life. But without an official diagnosis, it didn't mean much. So I had to wait for almost a whole other year to get an appointment with the right people. And I was so afraid they wouldn't take me seriously and tell me what all the other doctors had told me over the years. We're all restless sometimes, just relax and just try some mindfulness. And so many other things that basically meant, don't be so difficult, just snap out of it. I cannot yet find the right words to describe the relief and validation and support I felt when last month the doctors told me not only do I for sure and very clearly have ADHD, they were also surprised I managed to go on this long without any help. So March and April were a bit of a roller coaster. But I'm starting this new trip around the sun feeling very supported and hopeful. And I couldn't be more grateful and excited for the journey ahead. Meanwhile, at home, I had fun with a little studio redesign project. Even before I got the official ADHD diagnosis, I knew it was super important for me to pay attention to my surroundings. I am so sensitive to visuals and lighting, and creating the right mood can make all the difference for my mindset. And since I am using this room both as a home office and as my creative space, I really wanted to make sure I would be able to easily transition between all these functions with as little effort as possible, to make sure everything in the space has purpose. Apart from clearing everything out and decluttering, I also decided to add a desk to the space. And it's a desk you can also use standing up. My day job demands focus and long work days, and I noticed I was already feeling my body suffer from sitting all day. Being able to do a lot of my work standing up has been a true game changer. Keeping my old desk as well means I can transition between my day job and my creative adventures a lot easier now, which is so wonderful. Also decided to move my tarot and oracle decks to the cabinet beside my desk for easy access, and ended up adding a huge card display to my desk space. I found this one on Amazon, and officially it's a stand to display earrings on little cardboard cards. But I figured I could use it for my monthly, weekly and daily card pulls as well. And it really helps to keep my cards safe and myself organized. Also, Kiki has been hanging out on my desk as well. And she really brightens up my work days. Outside, the garden was slowly starting to wake in April. I am always amazed at the explosion of life happening in spring. The new leaves, the colors, the flowers, and all the little bugs and insects emerging from the ground in such a short period of time. Immediately, I want to spend every waking minute outside, and I will definitely share more on my gardening journey and challenges in the next update, because creating the cottage garden of my dreams has been an interesting adventure for sure. For now, let's finally get to the table and check out some of the stuff that I loved in March and April. Since April is my birthday month, I decided to gift myself a few fun things. Starting with this wonderful mug by Katie Daisy. You might know her as the illustrator of the How to Be a Wildflower deck. I had this mug on my Etsy wishlist for ages, and in March I decided to order it for my birthday, and it gives me so much joy. I also decided to order these two wonderful necklaces in the webshop of Miri Franke. She is an illustrator and tattoo artist from Germany. and she actually gave me my very first tattoo. I have some other jewelry designed by her as well. I actually came to her store to buy this fun yellow tiger. But then I saw the zebra, and it reminded me of a quote a friend sent to me right after my ADHD diagnosis. And the quote was, "There is comfort in knowing you're a normal zebra and not a crazy horse." I mean, you've spent your whole life feeling like a crazy horse, like you're not fitting in because even the simplest tasks are so easy for others and so difficult for you. That can really, really wear you down. So the zebra represents claiming back your identity and self-empowerment. In April, I also went for some retail therapy in Loods 5, which is a huge designer warehouse here in the Netherlands. They are selling lots and lots of brands and some really ugly stuff and some really expensive stuff. But I always love hunting for little treasures that are both beautiful and affordable. This seemingly random collection of little ceramic dishes always comes in handy in my little studio, displaying and organizing my natural treasures, like these roses I got from my husband. If you have been following my channel for a while, you might have noticed I have a little obsession with the Arcus Arcanum Tarot. This is a vintage out-of-print tarot illustrated by a German comic book artist in the 80s. I got this Majors Only set secondhand from someone in my town. And last year, my husband gifted me the complete set. I also found a cheaper reprint of the deck, which I ended up trimming. I really love how the artwork stands out in this little pocket-sized borderless edition. And while the other two are safely stored away in a cabinet for me to admire from time to time, this borderless little version is the deck I actually use. I'm still not sure what exactly is it about this deck that I love so much, but I'm pretty sure it's just pure nostalgia for me. I'm an 80s baby, and these are the comic books that I read when I was a child. So to have that in a tarot is so awesome. But the only thing I was missing in my little Arcus Arcanum collection was the accompanying big guidebook of the deck that was published in German. So when I found a copy secondhand for like 12 euros on the German Amazon, I knew I just had to get it to complete my little collection. Now when I'm working with the deck, I can finally also use the official guidebook written by Günther Hager. 78 Degrees of Wisdom had been on my wish list for ages, but I never got around to actually buying it. Then the news broke that Rachel Pollack died in April, and somehow it all came together and it felt like the right time to finally order this book. I've been enjoying going through it and been marking stuff like a real tarot nerd and enjoying every minute of it. Another book I loved studying this month was A Radical Guide for Women with ADHD. Picking this book up after getting my official diagnosis was very healing. It truly is a practical guide. The chapters are short, there are summaries and exercises. And it also has the perfect combination of being informative and incredibly supportive. Unfortunately, there are still so many misconceptions about how ADHD presents itself in women. And it's the reason that a lot of women, myself included, get diagnosed at later stages in life. Luckily, more and more information is becoming available and more research is being done. And I will definitely give some thought into what I maybe can share on this channel about my own experiences. Apart from the books for studying, I also wanted to get a fun one. And when I came across the Field Guide to Witches, I knew I couldn't resist. This is a book that actually brings a few of my interests together: folklore and illustration. Not only does the book contain beautiful illustrations from 20 different illustrators, the illustrators actually also share their process with you. So apart from containing these beautiful illustrations, you also get to know the illustrators a little better and hear more about why they decided to portray the witches in a certain way. When visiting the Etsy shop of Katie Daisy to buy that lovely mug I showed earlier, I also noticed she published another deck. I mentioned the How to Be a Wildflower deck earlier, and this is still one of my favorite decks for summer. The watercolor style illustrations and beautiful, warm, bright colors just really give me all the summer vibes. And what I really loved about the How to Be a Wildflower deck is that not only do you get 78 cards containing these beautiful illustrations, you also get 78 different quotes on the backs of the cards. This makes it a wonderful deck to display. So I immediately pre-ordered the How to Be a Moonflower deck. Once again, the production quality of this deck is lovely. The cards come in a hardcover box with a slide-out drawer. And even though some of the illustrations from the How to Be a Wildflower deck have been reused for this one, there are a lot of new lovely illustrations to enjoy. But I will be honest with you, I was a little disappointed by the backs of these cards. Once again, I was hoping for some awesome, inspiring, beautiful quotes. But instead, all the cards contain prompts. 78 prompts. And those are a lot of prompts. Flipping through these cards, it actually got me a little annoyed. It felt like the cards were just giving me loads and loads of assignments. And it goes on and on and on. It just really, I don't know, it really irked me a little. So if I would recommend getting one of these, I would still very much recommend getting the How to Be a Wildflower deck. But I don't mind having both of these. It will be fun playing around with displaying them and combining them, and the illustrations still are absolutely wonderful. So that's a How to Be a Moonflower deck by Katie Daisy. Even though I didn't buy any more decks in March and April, I did receive 3 more decks. These I traded with a lovely lady in the United States who contacted me after seeing one of my videos. And I am so incredibly grateful to her for being willing to send me these 3 amazing decks. It's so fun meeting people from all over the world, sharing the same interests and passions. The first one is a lovely little oracle deck called the Here Oracle. The character featured in this deck immediately reminded me of a character from video games. And the keywords are just very clear and to the point. And the little white book really surprised me, because it actually connected the keywords to all these little physical practices and assignments that you can do. So all in all, a really lovely deck to add to my collection. And it's the Here Oracle cards. The second deck I received is the Crimson Eye Tarot. And check out this absolutely lovely cloth that it came in. I love the combination of the black and white with the crimson red of the tarot box. The Crimson Eye Tarot was a Kickstarter, and the deck is a very quirky RWS clone. And if eyes make you nervous, then obviously this is not the deck for you, because there are eyes everywhere. But I love the illustration style and the black, white and red color scheme. The deck is printed on a lovely linen cardstock, and I already have some ideas about the decks I would like to pair this one with. And that's the Crimson Eye Tarot. And if that wasn't enough, the trade included a third deck, the Yokai Yoshi Tarot. This was a Kickstarter and is now very much out of print. And I don't want to make anyone jealous or make anyone feel FOMO, but I cannot deny that this deck is absolutely gorgeous. Both the packaging and the cardstock is really high quality. And the illustrations are absolutely beautiful. But what I hadn't expected was for this deck to really hit me in the feels. And it's because I kind of associate seeing this deck on Kickstarter a few years ago with my tarot journey so far. I might share about that a little more in an upcoming video. But holding this deck and flipping through these cards made me realize how much support and joy tarot has brought me these past few years. And how grateful I am to have actually met so many wonderful people in this community. And realizing that all of that is connected to this deck for me made flipping through the cards 1,000 times more special. And it made me treasure this deck with all my heart immediately. So thank you so much to the very kind person who was willing to include these amazing decks in this trade. Now, if you have this deck, or if you would like to know more about the yokai shown in the deck, I highly recommend watching a video by Sylvia from Fairlight Tarot, where she actually goes through every card, sharing so much information about the yokai. It's truly a treasure of information, and I highly recommend watching her video. She has published the one about the major arcana already and will be publishing the minor arcana in the future. And I can't wait to see the rest of her episodes. And that's the Yokai Yoshi Tarot. I pulled a lot of cards in March and April, but in the end I decided to only share one. The first card I pulled from the Earth Messengers Oracle deck, and it's called the Navigator. And it's about being able to navigate difficult situations. The other two cards I pulled from the Poesis Oracle deck, and it was Growth and Leap. Now, this combination of cards really reminded me of everything that has happened in these past few months and the journey ahead. I will be navigating some tricky situations, and it will all be necessary to grow. And that leap of faith that it will require, it will make me feel exactly like shown on that card, being all twisted and chaotic. But in the end, it will be worth it. that's it. Those were the things I loved in March and April. These months were a chaotic, emotional roller coaster, and it will take a while for the dust to settle. But I'm so very grateful for all the things that happened these past few months. I also hope to experiment a little with how I am creating my videos at the moment. This means I plan to post my favorite videos every 2 or 3 months from now. I hope this will leave me a little bit more room to create more videos on other topics. I would love to share more about my ADHD journey, about how tarot helped me in that process, but also more stuff about my garden, or just doing fun VRs to hashtags that are going around. And I want to thank you for following along and listening to my random ramblings. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!